It's okay. Awesome. We are going to get started. A huge, huge welcome, everybody. I'm super excited about today's call. We've not kind of, really showcased a speaker for a little while. And when I was kind of conversing with Simon around his upcoming book and that, I just said, oh my gosh, we haven't had a chance for Simon to talk to our Juice Plus team for so long. And he is a friend of our Juice Plus family. He has spoken at conference in the past. And I just love his vision and his purpose and just who he is. Just in case some of you have not met Simon before, and there may be some of our newer teamies that have actually not had the pleasure or the honor to actually hang out with Simon, I'm going to read his official bio that I have here, just to kind of give you a little bit of an intro into the man behind the name. So Simon Chan is a consistency coach and speaker who helps network marketers earn a part-time income of at least $1,000 a month by getting them to be consistent, defeat overwhelm, and build a successful business online. Simon is best known as the host of MLM Nation podcast, the #1 network marketing podcast that features in-depth interviews with over 600 top income earners. And if you don't subscribe to that one, it's definitely one I would encourage you to. Simon started network marketing in 2003 and built $1 million business with over 200,000 distributors by pioneering online duplication. He retired from building in 2013 to be a full-time trainer and founded MLM Nation. The part that it doesn't say in there is that this man has such a servant-hearted leadership. I love how he consistently shows up, like he lives his values of consistency. He consistently shows up as a coach and leader, as a speaker, as somebody who's constantly adding value. He consistently shows up as a man of faith who walks his talk every single day. And I love even how we get to consistently see him show up as an amazing dad and husband, and how he coaches, his baseball and the commitment to that. Like we see consistently play out in Simon's life day in, day out. So he is a speaker who doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the talk. And that's what I absolutely love about this man. And just a true servant. He has never, anytime I've requested, can you share some wisdom with our team or anything like that, he has never, ever, ever said no. So Simon, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. So appreciate it. So excited about what it is that you're going to be sharing. And I know that you've got like a little announcement. Some of them might know about it, but I think many may not know. So I am going to spotlight you and hand over to you.
Hey, thank you so much for the kind words, Celine. It is, yeah, you know what? I'm human. I'm just fictional. I'm human just like you are. And I'll be very vulnerable and transparent and tell you this, okay? Celine said all those nice words about me being consistent. And I talk about this in my book, The Angel and the Devil. And the angel is like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. And the devil is like, come on, you can skip, you can. And I'll tell you, I am tired as heck today. I've been up at 2:30 a.m. this morning, and for the book, I had the whole day of baseball yesterday, 13 hours on the baseball field. Coached my second son to a championship. I hit a major breakthrough. Very excited. Got home, celebrated a little bit, and went right to work for the book launch. And but I was like, oh, 9 p.m. I normally never do 9 p.m. for me, but you all Juice Plus family have a special place in my heart. So, and I wanted you to teach. This is the first lesson. If you want to be successful, always show up. Okay? And number 2 is never cancel. Number 3 is show up on time. Those are 3 things. There are a lot of things. Like today, I was like, oh man, I wish I told Celine tomorrow, not today. But you gotta show up. Never can. And I'll be fully out. I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta do this call. I'm like, dude, and I'll tell you what do I do to fire myself up. I'll get nervous before I speak too. I'm gonna share that in what I do to overcome that fear. And I took, you're a great company. I've met amazing friends here. I also take the product. My kids take the chewables, and but I like them too. So I took 3 chewables before I did this course. Give me something to fire myself up. So anyway, didn't want to be here, but I'm here. It must be true. I'm fueled by your chewables. I'm excited, and I think a lot of times, I'll be honest with the podcast, right? People think you're so disciplined, consistent. I'm not born consistent, disciplined, but you have to. There's certain things I'm going to share with you. Components of a consistency system. If you apply that, you will take the first step to being consistent and achieve, and also being a leader, right? Like sometimes you feel like, well, if I had more success, better results, I can be that leader. It'd be easier for people to buy my products, join my business, become partners. Hey, you got to be that leader before you become that leader. Be that leader. You know, my first mentor told me that. I didn't make sense. How can you be a leader before you become a leader? You need results. Men are leader. Hello. But like, no, you got to be that leader. And I think if you don't understand that, because we've been programmed from early childhood, our what we call school mentality, where you need to get results before you can be somebody. And in your juice business, you don't need that. As long as you need is your permission. Whose permission? Not anyone's permission. Your permission. You decide you can be the leader, so just be that leader. And I share with you, leaders always show up. Leaders never cancel, and they're on time. Okay? And by the way, I say on time for most cultures. There's certain cultures that show up late, and you got to respect that. But for Western culture, you show up on time. So anyway, that was a little tangent. I think this leadership. I'm going to share with you my purpose-driven life is to have a positive impact as many lives as possible. And I believe everyone. You have an awesome product to earn at least a part-time income of $1,000 a month in Juice Plus. Now, if you want to get to a bigger leader, yes, you want to earn more. You need to grow. But if you have a great product, awesome support from corporate, it is good enough to get a part-time income. But the thing you need is really consistency. Talk about this on ML Nation podcast. We feature many Juice Plus leaders and even leaders from different companies. The number one skill. What's the number one skill? Some people say it's presentation. Some people say it's networking. Some people say it is speaking or social media. You know the number one skill? This is the mother of all skills. Is consistency. Because without consistency, you're never going to be successful. But if you're consistent, you can achieve anything. You could be good at anything. If you show up all the time. And consistency is more important than ever, especially if you're new. Or you haven't had much success yet. Because you have to understand this concept. When people get started, I think people make a mistake. They think that, well, I get started, I'm going to share a couple friends, they're all going to be my customers and join. No, actually, I don't want to be a negative person, but 95% of the people you reach out to on the first exposure, the first time, will say no. 95%. Now, no the first time. Here's the good news. Everyone will eventually join, be a customer, or give you a referral. Everyone. And Celine's been in this profession for a long time. Everyone. Now, it may not happen. It may not happen 1 month. It may happen 1 year from now, 10 years, 15 years. I had friends that, I hate this profession. Well, that's a Ponzi scheme. Whatever. Now they're doing it. Because you have to understand, this business is about timing. Right? Timing. So people buy, and if you feel that I need results for people to join, you don't need results. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know you can see it. Okay. People buy your 3 C's. How many of you have felt that, oh, I don't have any results. If I had results, okay, or if I was in the 50 club, it was so easy to sign up people. Right? So easy. I don't have any results to share. I used to feel that way. Type in a 1 in the comments if you felt that way before. Right? I tell you, that's the wrong way that's the wrong thinking. Because you don't need results to get people to join. People buy the 3 C's. You know what people buy? 3 C's. What are they? First is your change. How have you changed? Change could be your change in attitude. Right? Obviously, change in the products. You're healthy, you have more energy. Right? Change in your lifestyle, your thinking. I used to be very negative. My late grandparents, I loved them very much. I spent a lot of time with them, but they were a little negative, a little cynical. I was like that. And that's why I love, Celine said, I give back to the profession because the profession changed my life. Not just for the money-wise, but for who I am. I'm a better father, better husband because of that. I'm more positive. I used to be negative. Now, if you're positive for the first time, some of your friends might be looking at you. What's wrong with you? But I'll guarantee you one thing. Positivity is so important. Positivity doesn't guarantee success, but negativity guarantees you failure. So you might as well be positive. Okay? So you change in attitude, right? The way you change. Let people know about that. The stuff you're posting on social media. Your change in habits. You used to be watching TV, but now you're on this training. That's huge. Lunchtime. All right, now it's lunchtime. You used to watch TV. Now you're watching. Every one of you should be posted on social media a story. You don't even need to mention my name. Just say, I'm so excited. I love our company. Provided awesome training. I'm so excited for the month of June. Just write that down. People are like, what are you so excited about? What's happening in the month of June? What's going to happen? You want to create curiosity, right? People buy your change, your commitment, and your consistency. Your change, commitment, consistency. And it's so important because I mentioned this already. I want to mention it again. Prospecting is about timing. Timing. It's all about timing. What do I mean by timing? There was a time in your life, including my life, and Celine's life, that you have never done Juice Plus. Never. There was a time in my life, it was a low-paying job. I liked my job. I would have never done this. Yeah, same applies to you. But Juice Plus came to your life at a certain time where you needed it. It's about timing. I'll give you an example. You talk to a friend on Friday. Hey, want to take a look? We have a great business, a great opportunity right now. Very exciting things. Your friend's just thinking about the weekend. I'm going to hang out with my family. I'm going to go to the pub and relax. I'm going to go to... Then nothing. The timing's bad. She's a bad prospect. Bad prospect. Now, she gets an email from a boss saying, you better make sure you finish that project before you leave for the weekend. And now she's miserable. She's, I hate this. I don't like this. Oh, now she's a good prospect. But she finishes the project and she's hanging on Saturday. You catch her on Saturday, she's having fun. She's a bad prospect. On Sunday night, she had a great weekend. Now she's dreading to go to work. I got to do the commute. A company's not letting me work from home anymore. Now she's a good prospect again. See, it's all about timing. And I'll tell you, the best prospects, if you want to find good prospects, look for people in transition. Every one of you here, you were in transition when you got started with Juice Plus. I was in transition when I got started my business. That transition could be you maybe had a health issue you need to change. Maybe you career change. Maybe you're worried about the finances. Maybe you had a baby and now you're wondering you need to start saving money for education. Maybe you just got married, you need to save money for a home. Maybe you have 40-year life crisis, 50-year life crisis. I don't know what it is, but you were in some type of transition. That I was in transition. I was looking for a change. Right? Your best part, think about who in your life is in a transition state. And right now, we are going into, everyone's talking about it, most likely going to a recession. And recession is the best time for our profession. The best time for transition. I'll tell you why. Because simple for the concept that the fear of loss, losing something, is always greater than the desire to gain something. Right? So I'll give you three examples here. Someone needs to lose 20 kilos if you want to be healthier. The doctor says you lose 20 kilos, the person doesn't do anything. But then the doctor says, if you don't lose 20 kilos, you have a 50% chance of getting a heart attack in the next 6 months. Oh, the person instantly loses weight. Have we ever seen a friend like that? Give up smoking, it's the same thing, right? If you give up smoking, you'll be healthier. They don't do anything. Oh, you have a heart attack if you don't give up smoking. They instantly quit. It's the same with your prospects. You have a great business. Hey, you work hard. You can earn an extra $5,000 a month. Or even just earn an extra $1,000 a month. They come home, they want to sit in front of the tube and just... But you tell them, if you think about this, who would be more motivated? If you work, you get an extra $1,000 a month. Or if you work an extra 5 hours, you get an extra $1,000 a month. Or if you don't work 5 hours, you're going to lose $1,000 a month. Which person would be more motivated? The losing, right? The losing stuff. That's why in the history of direct selling, when the economy entered uncertain times, the industry always thrives. During the pandemic, network marketing had a huge boom, while other businesses were closing because people were scared of the jobs. Did you know like over 75-80% of the people I've interviewed over 700 leaders on my podcast. Over 70-85% of them got started in the last financial crisis. These are all entrepreneurs, business people, successful business people. They lost money, whether it's the stock market or the businesses suffer. They lost a lot of money. What are they going to do to get the money back? They're not going to go to get a job. right? Could they start a business? Very difficult because they lost their credit. That's where they start network marketing. Because for a couple $100, you can make 6 figures. You can easily make that money back. Look for people who are in transition. Hey, James Everton, good to see you, my friend. So here's the thing. If you think of networking, right? Networking. I have a big network. It's not about your size of your network. It's who will think of you when they need what you have. Who will think of you? Ask yourself, who will think of you when someone? Because most people, 95% of people, are not going to join, not going to buy right now. But maybe 3 months from now, when they need it, will they think of you? And if you're not consistent, then you're going to lose that person. Right? You've done a bad job of marketing. If you're hungry, just say you want cheap pizza delivered. Now, I'm not thinking of good pizza, not good pizza, cheap, quick pizza. Who would you call? Who'd you reach out to? Cheap and quick pizza. Domino's, right? Hey, by the way, I asked this question to Aussies. I asked this to Canadians, Americans, New Zealand, UK, China. They all say the same thing. It's either Domino's or Pizza Hut. That's marketing. That's marketing. It's not even like the best pizza. You don't need to be best. It's quick and cheap. Right? Because they make you think of that. So when someone needs something, like I need to change my life, I need to do something, I need to earn some extra, I'm worried, will they think of you? And if they don't, you need to be more consistent. And I wasn't consistent, just to give you some, share my background. I definitely wasn't consistent. It's not something I was born with. And because my kids are about to go to bed. I don't want to say this too loud, but I was not, the only thing I was consistent with in university was playing video games to 4 a.m. and then cutting class the next morning. Okay, I could barely go to a 2 p.m. class. It was really sad. Like, the only reason I got up to 2 p.m. class was my parents had me on meal plan. So I had lunch, and I'll run to the John Jay Dining Hall, and they close at 2 o'clock. So I make sure I'll go there like 1:40, 1:45, grab some sandwiches and bananas and oranges, put in my knapsack, and then go to my 2 p.m. class and eat lunch there. I missed all my classes. I was definitely not consistent. But consistency is something you learn, okay, if you apply the 7 components. But when I first started, I definitely wasn't consistent. Now, I've been in profession once upon a time in 2003. I got started, and I had months of struggle. Some of you may have seen this. I'll go through this really quick. I just made $0, another $0 check, another donut, another bagel, another pancake, just $0, okay? Not very flattering. And by the way, if you're new on here, it doesn't need to be this way. Just don't be like me. Be consistent. Okay. I'll tell you all the mistakes I made. My turning point was someone helped me become consistent. Someone pushed me. And because we all need accountability. You know, if my mentor didn't force me to take action and hold me accountable, I would not be where I am today. Yeah, I'm a shy, quiet Asian kid from Brooklyn, New York, and I didn't have many friends. I moved out to Los Angeles, and so I started building online. That's how I started. Some of you may not even been born. These big TVs, I don't know CRT big computers. How many of you remember MSN Messenger? Okay, this is way before social media was even started. I went to ICQ forums to meet prospects. It was Overture, Yahoo Overture, then Yahoo bought it out, Google AdSense, and then eventually it was the first social media, Friendster, MySpace, using that. Okay, eventually build, and I wasn't good. But here's the thing that's why I really emphasize consistency. Consistency creates mastery. Eventually built a team of over 200,000 downlines. Was the #1 fastest growing distributor. Then, network marketing is about duplication. So my wife and I we're single with 2 of us. We need to duplicate. So, boom, boom. That's our duplication. Very easy. From 2 of us to 5 of us. And we can, pretty good, right? My oldest one looks exactly like me. So it's duplication. My youngest one looks exactly like my wife. We're very good duplication. The white fluffy one, I don't know. He's like the franchise. He's kind of weird. We can't figure him out yet. But he's Obi. He's my oldest son. And it's a little late at night. Otherwise, it's good. If it's not late at night, I'm telling you, they wouldn't come in. They either mischief or they're fighting. But my house is a zoo. In fact, when I first started, my wife was making breakfast one day, and this was my life. I'm like, what did I sign up for? James probably knows this. James, I was talking to James about it. When you try to get all 3 into the car seat together, you're like, what's going on? Oh, you're about to cry. My wife was making breakfast. I need to get the 2 oldest ones to school, brush their teeth, have a youngest one in my arms. And I'm like, and I think I have toothpaste in my throat there. But here's the good news. You don't need much time to build a successful Juice Plus business. Okay? You don't need, but you do need to be focused and working on the right things. I'm going to talk about that in a second. My boys are a little bit older. They're 11, 8, and 6. White fluffy one, 13 and a half. And then, you know what? I felt a guy had a message for me. Like, I realized my company was just like a small piece of a huge billion-dollar industry. And I wanted to make a bigger impact. And that's when I kind of shifted my focus. I've been a full-time trainer since 2003. So this was a picture where I remember this. I had a great time. This was at conference at 2018 in Perth, speaking at Juice Plus. That was the conference. It was a really, really fun time. Time goes by so fast. I'll tell you, time goes by fast. You got to seize the day. Okay, seize the day. I was just thinking like Celine, like when did we first meet you? I remember it was 2017. That was like 5 years already. You know, I think of years. I don't lose track of years, especially if you have kids. Baseball years. That's my son started T-ball. Oh my goodness, T-ball. That seemed like a lifetime ago. Again, it seems so. Time goes by fast. So seize the day. Don't waste time. Right? But I know I talk a lot about consistency. It's hard to be consistent and focused. Right? And that's why I'm going to share with you 7 components you need. If you apply these 7 components, you can be consistent in anything, whether it's exercise, whether it's in your Juice Plus business. But let's talk about goals first. The number one reason why goals fail. I know I've had goals that fail. You probably set goals. You want to hit an income goal, a rank, a promotion. You didn't make it. Right? The reason it failed is every goal needs a consistency system to support it. Every goal needs a consistency system to support it. You just can't say, oh, I want to reach this goal. I'm just going to do something and magically happen. It's not just your lack of why or dream. It's more than that. You need a system in place, right? So these are the 7 components of the consistency system. If you have 7 components, you are going to be consistent. Some leaders here, like James Evenden, whether he is aware of it or not, when he's consistent, he is applying all 7 components. Same as Celine. They're applying these 7 components. Component number 1 is a checklist. Do you have a specific checklist of things you need to do? If you want to be QMD, right? What do you need to do there? How much volume? The first question if you have to ask yourself, how much volume do you need to hit that rank? I want to be at the 25 club. Well, how much volume do you need? Go backwards. And if the volume, then how many people do you need to talk to? How many customers do you need? How many reach out? Be specific. You need a checklist. Every one of you here, and Brownie, I appreciate you. Every one of you here, by the way, is consistent in some area, right? Don't say, oh, I'm not consistent, I struggle. Everyone of you is consistent. I'll give a couple examples. Number 1, every one of you here took a bath or shower last night in the last 24 hours. So you're consistent. You brush your teeth every day, consistent. You have for everything, use a checklist. How many of you exercise consistently? If you exercise consistently, you have a checklist. Right? If you don't exercise consistently, I guarantee you there is no checklist. And that's why you're not consistent with exercise. So, you take a bath or shower, there's a checklist. What do you need to do? You need to have shampoo, have soap, have water, preferably warm. You have a towel, you have new clothes, right? There's a checklist. You want to exercise? There's a checklist. Maybe you do, you lift weights, there's sneakers, you need gym clothes. And by the way, these are the saying, if you want to exercise consistently, put your sneakers next to your bed. So you wake up and motivate you. It's a checklist. Number 2 is you have to create and schedule the time. This is the big one, right? You are all entrepreneurs, franchisees, and you have unlimited dreams. But God is not giving you not even 1 extra second to make those dreams happen. You're not getting, it's not like, oh, you have big dreams? Let me give you 25 hours in the day. No. You have to do it the same amount of time. That's the challenge. You got to give things up. Maybe you have to give up TV. Also, maybe give up hanging out with certain people that are not taking you closer to your goals. You have to give up maybe talking to negative prospects, trying to convince them because the timing is not right. Or maybe some franchisees just want to be customers. They don't want to build. Don't spend time convincing them. Go out there, find the next leader. You have to create and schedule time, booking the calendar. The turning point for me was every day at 4:30. I have 15 minutes in my job, and I spend time in the business. As I build up that courage, I start doing it during the afternoon, during my lunch hour. And afterwards, I'll do a little bit at night. Right? You got to create and schedule the time. If you don't, it's not happening. Some of you, who, by the way, no matter how busy you are, you take a shower and bath every day. You create and schedule the time. Right? Some of you do it, and do you want to be consistent? Create a routine. Some of you take a shower in the morning. Some of you take a shower at night. Some of you take a shower both morning and night. Whatever it is, there's a routine. What is your Juice Plus routine? If you don't have a routine, you're going to be struggling. You got to create that routine. You know, if you exercise consistently, I know some of you said yes, there's a routine. Right, some of you exercise in the morning. Some of you exercise after work. There's a routine. Go and create that routine. You know, sometimes I ask people to exercise. They say, yeah, I do my best. I say, when? Oh, when I have time. I'm like, that person is not having exercising. Because you're never going to have time to do stuff. So let's talk about component number 3. It's determine the strategy. What's the strategy you're going to take to stay consistent and reach your goals? Are you going to maybe do TikTok videos every day? Or are you going to do Instagram Reels? Or are you going to go to the gym and meet people? Or are you going to go to your communities and do business networking? What is the strategy you're going to use to determine? Anything you do consistently, let's apply to exercise as a strategy. But are you going to do cardio or are you going to do weights? Are you going to do maybe both in one day? Or maybe you have a strategy where you do legs and weights one day, upper body the next day. There's a strategy to everything. Maybe you do yoga, Pilates strategy. You know, even taking a bath and shower, there's a strategy. Some people go head down, some people shampoo, and then your body. Some people you go clean your body, then shampoo. There's a strategy. What's the strategy in your business? For your goal that you want to hit, obviously you're on here, you have a goal, you have big goals. What's your strategy? Component number 4 is choose your environment. Your environment is very important. Environment, right? You can't be in an environment that's not supportive. And it sometimes doesn't need to be, you can go to your car, go walk around the neighborhood. I have a beautiful home office here. I'll share one thing. I cannot do any creative work here. So all the content I create, I cannot think of. I may record them here. I just can't think of them here. I take my oldest son, Obi, the weird, fluffy one, and we walk around the neighborhood, and all of a sudden I get ideas. Right? Or I go exercise, I get ideas. Choose your environment. Someone that did one-on-one coaching with me, he struggled with consistency, so we found a solution. When he got home, he would park his car in front of the garage, and he would send out 10, 50 messages. Because every time he go home, he with the kids, he wanted to play with the kids, and he would never get any work done. So he spent 10, 50 minutes, and then send out some messages, and then he would play with the kids, and after they put him to bed, then he would reply back to those people who reply back. That worked until the kids were old enough to be like, why is Daddy parked in the garage, sitting in the car? So they'll come out. So, but then we had to change. We had to change the environment. So that ruined his consistency, right? So we changed the environment. He parked his car like half a kilometer away from the house. So the kids couldn't see him, and he worked, right? You don't need much time in the business, but during the 10, 15 minutes, you're working on that. The strategy determines the checklist. Component number 5. Oh, by the way, one more thing. Environment is very important. Music is a huge part of it. Music, right? I'll share 2 things that work for me. I speaking on stage or Facebook Lives or Zooms in my 19 years, over 10,000 times, I calculated, 10,000 times. And I still get nervous. I still have fear. I share with you, when I go on there, I'm so tired, I'm going to this Juice Plus call with Celine, I love Celine, but you know what? Some of you can't overcome the fear, and I've actually learned I can't overcome fear and nervousness. The secret is to act in spite of fear. You may be nervous reaching out to someone. You're like, if you wait, I want to wait for this nervousness to go. It may never go away. Hey, I've been 19 years, I still get nervous. But I'm like, hey, I'm the leader. I'm going to act in spite of fear. And music is a big part of the environment. If I played a certain song, it'll bring you back to a certain moment in time. If I play a certain song, it'll remind you of your secondary school days. Right? If I play a certain song to Celine and Mick, it'll bring that back to the wedding days. Instantly, you get goose. You know what I'm talking about? You get goose pimples. It brings it back. Use that to your advantage, right? Before I speak, before this, I play this song. I'm like, I'm like fired up, right? And I'm like, hey, what's up, Juice Plus family? Simon Chan, I am fired up. Let's get this going. I'm excited here. I know it's late at night, but I'm going to make it happen. I'm fired up, right? Music does amazing things. I'm fired up right now. Right before this call, like it was starting, I'm like, oh my God, all right. I just start dancing, listening to Juice Plus dance, listening to this, all right. Hey, use music. Music motivates every one of us. Use that, right? You can use that for anything. When my son, when we go to baseball, we play Eye of the Tiger every time. We don't play any other song. When I work out, I listen to another song. Wu-Tang Clan. I'm like, oh, I'm going to lift weights. Use that to your advantage. Okay. And here's a secret. And how it works is like, I don't want to get into it. It's like NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Tony Robbins talks a lot about that stuff. I don't know how it works, but it works. It's the same way when you play a song, brings you back to special. You might get goosebumps. I listen to AC/DC. I'm just, all right, I'm going to go. I'm great. Choose a song that fires you up. And here's this tip. Don't play that song for anything else. But you only play that song every time you're building your business. So it's like we become like the Pavlov dogs, right? You play a certain bell, boom, the dogs go and do that. You ring the bell, they do this, right? You blow a whistle, you're training animals. You're basically training yourself. Once you leave that song, all right, I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to build my Juice Plus business. Do that. It works wonders. Next component. Tracking. You got to track your time. Okay, the late Peter Drucker, business guru, says, what doesn't get measured does not get improved. You want to get better, you got to track. You want to lose weight, you got to track. You want to grow your Juice Plus business, you got to track how many people you're reaching out to. I talk to people. How many people talk to? 10 or 20 people? Like, what is it, 10 or 20? Well, there's a big difference between 10 and 20. Big difference. Track how many people you're reaching out to, how many new people you're reaching out to. If you're posting on social media, how many new connects, how many engagement. Because remember, we got to work with component number one, the checklist. How do you know whether you're doing this or not if you're not tracking the checklist? Hey, every Olympic athlete, right? Somebody you see in the gym, they track, people who are really into exercising, they're tracking the workouts. If you want to get to the top of Juice Plus, you want to be Olympian, you need to start tracking. Number 6. About one tip I use, tracking, is I use an app to track what I do. Or you can just write on the calendar how many days in a row you've done this. Consistency toolbox. Component number 6. You need a toolbox. You need tools. Tools. I'll share 2 tools. It's free. Everyone needs to get. There's a lot of other tools and apps, but these are 2 tools. Number 1 is the calendar. You need to have everything in the Google Calendar is what I use. You can sync. So you can use whatever calendar has to be in the calendar. You know, my wife and I, we have multiple calendars. We have a speaking calendar. I have my own calendar. We have a family calendar. We have the kids' baseball events. You have to have a calendar. Okay, without a calendar, it just doesn't happen. Remember what was the first component number 2? Create and schedule the time. Go to the calendar and block it off. And that time is non-negotiable, right? I want you to write this down. One of the turning points was I treated my business like a job, and my calendar was my boss. I treated my business like a job, and my calendar was, what should I do today? Look at the calendar. Everything is planned in there. Tomorrow, what time I'm picking up my kids, what time I'm working out, what time I get it is on the calendar. Now you may say, that's so boring. That's so, make life so rigid. I'll tell you, share something with you. That will give you more freedom than ever. Because you can get more stuff done. More stuff done. And when you go have fun, you're going to feel good because you don't have to worry about the stuff you didn't do. That's the saying. If I look at your calendar, I can tell how successful you are by looking at your calendar. Any leader, James Eviden, and Linda's done it. I look at the calendar, I'm sure it's booked. It's not empty. If your calendar is empty, that's why you're stuck. I can tell how well you're doing by just looking at your calendar. Another tool is a timer. A timer. Countdown timer. That rings, the buzz, and you have to stop. Right? So, how many of you done like, I got to check Facebook messages, you're checking, or checking emails, and next thing 1 hour has passed. And you're like, well, I haven't done anything. Have that happened? Or like, I'm going to do a social media post, and I got to fix my image, I got to use this filter, I got to use that filter, and next thing you know, 40 minutes have gone, and you haven't done anything yet. See, you have high expectations, high standards, perfectionists. right? TikTok will make you lose a week if you don't have a. Yes, it will make you lose your week, or lose a life you'll never get back if you don't use the timer. You want to enjoy TikTok? Learn, get ideas. I get ideas from looking at TikTok, but I set a timer. 10 minutes, I gotta stop. Why does the timer work? You know, when you have the timer, not only does it create a limit, you're gonna be more productive. You reply to messages. You're gonna reply faster. Because you have to understand our DNA. You know, we're all humans. We all have emotions. We all have fears. You're not going to get overcome that. But our DNA, like our caveman DNA, now this caveman, I cannot speak for cavewoman, but I speak for caveman DNA. You know, sometimes you see guys just sitting on there watching the tube TV, right? They're eating potato chips and just watching TV. Caveman, why is he like that? It came from caveman. Caveman was sleeping in his hammock all day. The only 3 times he would get up. Number 1, he was hungry. He would look for food. Or he'd be sleeping again. Number 2 was tiger came. He'd start running away. And the 3rd was if someone came to steal a woman, he'd start fighting. That's the only time caveman will wake up. We need urgency. If you don't, to just enforce this concept, think back to school, right? Remember you had to write a paper? You had to write a term paper. When did you do your term papers, your essays? When did you do them? Night before, right? Or maybe, if you're like me, I do the morning of. Very bad. Morning of. Okay? Okay, we'll wake up early and right. But I remember every time I do morning of, I'm like, oh, this stinks. I hate this. It's so stressful. I'm never doing this again. Next time, I'm going to write it early. So I remember 1 or 2 times, I'll actually go to the library 1 month before it's due and sit there. My computer, laptop, to write. I'll sit there for 1 hour. I'll write 1 sentence. Oh, but the morning of, I'm like, get the paper done in 1 hour. Right? Because we have urgency, deadline. We perform better under pressure. You see that in sports sometimes. First 1 or 2 halves, first half, they're not scoring much. But when the game's on the line, all of a sudden they do a lot of scoring. It's urgency. We work better under pressure. That's the saying. When's the most productive, for those who have jobs, especially corporate jobs, when's the most productive day of the year? Most productive day of the year is the day before you go on a holiday. Right? I gotta get all the stuff done. Imagine, and you clean the house before. When do you clean the house? When you have guests arrives. All of a sudden, you can do all the stuff that you couldn't do in months. You can do it in 1 day. Because that's our DNA. We need urgency. Timer. Okay? Timer. Get the timer. 7th component, the last one, is accountability. You need accountability. Okay? Accountability is very important. Because we're humans. It's just like if you meet someone to go to the gym, you probably show up. You may not show up if you don't go. You have a trainer, you even show up even more. Right? Accountability. Now, accountability doesn't need to be upline. Accountability could be simply a cross line. Someone in the team member. A couple of tips about accountability. By the way, I have accountability. I have one person that's been for 8 years. One of my best friends now. He's a CEO of a company. Keep the calls short, but make them frequent. Right? If I'm talking to someone for 30 minutes, I'm not going to call the person for time for another 30-minute call tomorrow. It's more important you send a quick text message, but send it 7 days a week to check in on them. Okay, keep it short. Also, is make sure you have to understand from the other person's perspective is why would I be your accountability partner? Right? If someone reached out to me like, why would I be your accountability partner? I'm busy already. Everyone's selfish. Everyone's limited time. Be a person of value. Always look to give value to that person. When I meet my accountability partners, I'm always thinking, what can I, and take something you learn, it could be learning from something from here or something from your leaders, and you share it with the person. What's something I learned I can share it? Because if you're adding value, then people want to be your accountability partner. They want to talk to you. And by the way, that's how you build influence. Accountability, very important. So those are the 7 components. Just to recap. Number 1 is your checklist. Number 2, create and schedule the time. Number 3, you got to determine the strategy. Number 4 is choose your environment. Number 5, track. You need to track. Number 6 is your toolbox, consistency toolbox. Use the tools. I talked about timer. I talked about the calendar. And then 7, get accountability. If you have all 7 components, doesn't matter what you do, whether it's Juice Plus or exercise or something, whatever you want to do, you can stay consistent. Anyone can stay consistent. Consistency is a skill you learn. I want to share one more thing. I can take one or two questions too, Celine as well. But I want to share a quick 51-second video for you all. Here we go. Have you ever been excited to grow your business, but got distracted? Life gets in the way. You're worried about what others will think of you. You're overwhelmed and don't know where to start. Or you simply don't have time. But you conquered your fears? What if you stayed focused? What if you could get more done in less time? You'd be consistent and finally get results. I want to be your guide. I want to help you stay consistent so that you finally achieve the success you deserve. I want to give you the consistency pill. So today has been the big day. That's why I've been up since early. Thank you, Celine. The launch of our book, the Consistency Pill, is in different formats. We have, and by the way, these are U.S. prices. Okay, we have a hardcover version for $19.95. There's a paperback version for like $12.95. We have a digital version that you can watch and read on your phone or on your iPads. Some of you like audiobooks. It's $25, and we have a companion workbook, which basically summarizes each chapter and give you action steps. So this is very good for your teams. If you want to do like, hey, one chapter a week, how are we going to grow? Because hey, growing is the compound effect. You grow 1% at a time. Take one chapter a week. There's specific action steps you can do. So anyway, how many of you like audiobooks better than reading books? So you're busy, right? I know I listen to a lot of audiobooks. So this is something I created just for the launch. For the next it's actually 24 hours from now. Special launch bonus. If you love audiobooks, you can get the audiobook for free. Okay, if you get a copy of the book, whether it's the hardcover, softcover, or the digital, you get the free audiobook. It'll be emailed to you, or the free workbook. Okay, and the free workbook. It's not or and the free workbook. Both of these combined will be digital downloads. And I know some of you are on a tight budget, but it's only 99 cents US. I think that's maybe $1.50 or $1.60 Australian. I think everyone can afford that. Okay. My publisher thought I was crazy to do this. So why are you doing that? Hey, you know what? This profession, again, changed my life. I talked about it. I just want to give back to the profession. Okay, and I want to lift up the profession. There's got a lot of negativity. I think doesn't deserve it. And here's the thing. The reason I wrote this book was when I got started 20 years ago, there wasn't that many training around. I remember the first time I bought a training was $100 for like 5 CDs. Now it's from YouTube, TikTok, everywhere. Amazing stuff. But people still stuck because without consistency, you're never going to make it, right? You need to be consistent. That's why I do this, to give back. Again, that expire. The audiobook offer expires on June 7th, midnight. Okay, so make sure to go get it today. How do you get it? You go to you can get it on Amazon, and or go to consistencypill.com. Actually, consistencypill.com. Once you upload your Amazon receipt, then give us 5-7 minutes to verify your receipt, and then you get an email with the download to get the workbook. And I was told that the book actually already right now has hit #1 and #2 for multi-level marketing. So that is really cool. Just talking about, I think I just got the latest screenshot right here. Right here, #1, and actually #8 too. #1 is the Kindle, #2 is the paperback, #8 right now is the hardcover. So it may take a little couple 1 or 2 days for you to arrive, but what you can do is once you get the book, go to Consistency Pill, upload your receipt, and you can start going through the audiobook, start listening to it, and then when you finally get the book, you can go through it again. All right. That is my time. I really want to lift you. I love you all, Juice Plus. I miss you all. I know since I used to travel, see a lot of you out there. Still remember, Celine, we had a breakfast in New Zealand, that awesome event. Hopefully I'll be back soon. But hey, I'm here to serve you. Let me know if you have any questions. I guess I have time to take 1 or 2 questions. If anyone has any questions about anything, I'll be happy to answer questions before we wrap up.
Awesome. I just want to say, honestly, guys, this is amazing. What a gift. And again, it just shows what a giver that Simon actually is. I have the pleasure of reading a pre-version of the book before it was released, and it's fantastic, absolutely awesome. So I know the wisdom that's in there. I mean, yeah, 99 cents US is around about the $1.50 for us. It's, you can't even get a cup of coffee for that. I mean, hello. And you're going to get workbook, audio book, like the whole works kind of thing. So what a great gift. Pay it forward maybe to your teamies as well. I just think there's a huge opportunity there to be able to learn from an amazing servant leader. So, okay. And yes, Alison's actually going to be sending out all the details as well, so that anybody who maybe couldn't get on this call will be able to get the information as well. Oh, look, there's just bought it. Look, it's happening already, which is really cool. While we have Simon here, does anybody have a question? Anybody have a question? I'm just trying to check the chat here just to see if I've missed any already. And that, but here we go. I can't see any at the moment, but if you've got a question, let's do a shout out right here and now. And I know that maybe down the track, again, by the time you've all got the books and done the thing, we might have another catch up with Simon as well. About to order it. Okay, when are you back in Oz? Have you got any plans for travel at the moment, Simon?
That's a great question. I don't know. I definitely miss Oz, but I don't know. So
we'll have to.
Don't
We'll
know
have
yet.
to plan.
You know, the pandemic changed things, right? I think that's something. It got into the habit of not traveling. But I do miss travel. Just escape from the kids. You know what? I know I love my kids, but you know what? You know one thing I miss most is the long plane ride. So that's like the introvert, right? People say, well, you know, LA to Sydney, how long is it? It's like 16 hours. I love that plane ride. It's like peace and quiet. I can finally get time to myself. You know, I love that time.
No, exactly. Nobody can actually bother you for that time. I know.
Yes.
Which is awesome. Look, people are here, are getting in there, consistencypill.com. There you go. That's where you go to be able to get all things book, audio books, etc. Simon, thank you so much for your time. I know that it's late there, and I know that you've had a huge day, but we didn't want to miss out on being a part of your special launch. It's already the 7th here. So we are in your future, and so we've probably got a little bit more time to grab that through to early tomorrow, guys. So share with your teamies so that they know as well on this amazing opportunity to be able to be a part of creating history with Simon, because I think he deserves to be number one and to stay at number one for the value and the service that he gives to our profession. And as you were talking there, I just realized I'm getting this duplication thing down pat. I'm actually on holidays at the moment to visit our latest grandson. So we're duplicating too. Which is really cool. So yeah, so it's awesome. Okay, I am going to get us all here. I think if there's no more questions, let's stop our recording. But again, thank you so much, Simon. Very much appreciate you.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you for having me here. You guys are an awesome company. I miss you all out in Australia. And hey, stay consistent. You know, and remember, we're in the profession to help others. Stay consistent. Apply those 7 components, and so that you can make a positive impact on someone's life. God bless you all, and look forward to talking to you all soon.